Colleagues at work can be good, bad, or indifferent. It's just unfortunate when none of your colleagues is good, or even indifferent.
Well, there's no real problem. Just this blood pressure and the headaches and insomnia you talked about. Things all right at home?
Yes, fine.
Work?
What do you mean?
Any problems with your department?
Not really, you know, the odd, awkward customer. Nothing serious.
And your boss?
Oh, we get on fine.
What about your colleagues?
My colleagues?
They're difficult.
I wouldn't say difficult. They're just absolutely, totally impossible. I can cope with morons. I can cope with pig-headed people. I can cope with offensive people. But when it comes to knocking sense into a bunch of pig-headed, offensive morons...
Now that was a quite unreasonable outburst. After all, there surely can't really be people who are pig-headed, offensive morons.
Now, we'll shortly be having some new people joining us from investments. Things are a little quiet over there at the moment, and it's a good way of getting us through this extra workload.
Why are investments so quiet, then?
Because they're bone idle, that's why. Oh, well, I mean, look, they sit around scratching their crystal balls trying to work out whether the Chinese grapefruit market's going up or down.
OK, we are a bit short of time.
It makes me sick, quite frankly, to see that lot through there.
So I really think we ought to get on and talk about the Christmas party.
Prancing around as if they owned the place.
Do we want it to be like last year's?
No, absolutely not.
Thinking of the cat's whiskers, Lord knows why.
Bill. Bill, please.
Please what?
I think we'd rather talk about the Christmas party.
Oh, never mind the Christmas party.
Bill, give us a break, will you?
I'll give you a break if you don't watch it.
Bill, we really are getting a bit short of time.
Come on, Bill.
Oh, all right. Look, if you have to talk about the wretched cheese fondue, then be my guest.
On the other hand, there are some colleagues who will do absolutely anything to help you, just as long as they can let you know exactly how much trouble it's caused them.
And I shall need a laser-printed copy of page 17, so I can check Ron's article.
Page 17 isn't ready yet.
I asked for it yesterday.
The copy came in late, and then I had to go down to stores and get some fluffy discs.
Floppy disks, not fluffy.
Well, whatever. Anyway, they only had the big ones, and they don't fit, so I had to go out and buy some. John, do you know what it's like buying flappy discs in the high street at lunchtime? It's absolute murder. It takes you hours to park the car. You get to the shop. It takes you half an hour to find an assistant who's free. Then he's rude. Then he goes off. He gets the discs. He brings them back. They're the wrong ones. You have to queue again for half an hour. You get back to the car, and it's been towed away.
Why couldn't you send someone else?
Don't you think I would have done if I could have? Rebecca's been off all week with the virus, actually. And Mary was collecting copy from all round the office.
Yes. Where is page 17?
And there's the interdepartmental tennis match to organise. Don't forget, the interdepartmental tennis match doesn't actually run itself.
Look,
I think you'll find out.
Forget the interdepartmental tennis match. You are supposed to be running a magazine.
Will you try telling that to marketing and finance? They're playing each other tomorrow. I'm going to end up having to set up a net in the car park if it goes...
Minnie, I want page 17.
Everyone's using the laser printer at the moment. It never used to be like this in the old days.
Minnie, I don't want excuses. I want action. Now get on with it.
Don't actually have 12 pairs of legs, God.
Then there are the colleagues who may be doing their job perfectly well, but just can't resist the temptation to turn the office into a war zone.
I just can't take any more.
What?
I can't take any more.
What are you on about?
You really don't know?
No, I don't.
You mean you actually want me to tell you?
Yes, I suppose I do.
Oh, that's typical, isn't it? Suppose. You don't care, do you? You just take me for granted.
Oh, that is such nonsense.
I never get any thanks.
That's
you
not...
blame me for everything, and I'm sick of it.
Now, look, when you're in the wrong, I'm going to tell you. Understand?
You just don't understand, do you?
Oh, Christmas night.
You just treat me like an idiot.
You behave like an idiot.
Well, I'm going.
All right, get out.
I am.
Go on.
I'm not coming back.
Good.
Pig!
Whenever some colleagues need help, they'll turn to you, and they know they'll get it. because they won't take no for an answer.
With you in a sec, Mum. Yes. Yes. Yes, lunchtime, definitely. Bye.
Colin, total emergency. I need the first quarter figures for a meeting this afternoon. Mrs. Whiplash is after my blood.
This afternoon? I'm sorry, Ron. I've just promised Sarah a complete audit by lunchtime. I just won't be able to do both.
Yeah, but this is an emergency.
I'll have them for you as soon as I can, but I can't do them now.
Colin, look, if I don't give her those figures by 2 o'clock, I'm going to have to move to South America.
Ron.
Now, look, Sarah won't mind.
But I promise.
Just ring her and tell her that the computer's crashed and you'll be a few hours late. Please.
I can't.
Not can't, won't. You don't seem to understand. This really is an emergency.
Some people are born to rule. Others just work to rule.
Hello, Reggie.
Hello there, young man. What can I do you for, then?
Well, I've got a big client waiting outside. He needs to see an AP 700 straight away. And I'm fresh out of samples. Just one.
Certainly, my friend. You got the IOF 7?
Ah. Well, you see, the landline to Birmingham's down, and I thought, you know, as it's urgent, just this one.
Sorry, chummy. You know the rules. No paperwork, no can do. Got to have the docket.
Ah, well, I can get you the order form tomorrow. This afternoon, probably. It is urgent.
God, you reps are all the same, aren't you? Think you can ride roughshod over the system? I mean, look, what would happen if I let everyone just walk off with my stocks? Bloody anarchy.
Well, I'm not just everyone, and I'm not walking off with it. It's a sample for a client. I mean, for goodness sake, I'll bring it back when he's seen it.
This isn't a lending library, right?
Please, Reggie.
Look, young Barry, you see what it says above that door there? Storeroom manager? Look, I spent more years of my life getting to that position than you spent on this planet. Now, you think I'm going to risk that and do some favour for a young rep who can't be bothered to do things properly? Come on.
Well, I'm just going to have to go and see Mr. Jackson then, aren't I?
Well, you do as you like, young Barry. Mr. Jackson will tell you I'm only doing my job.
The annoying thing about some colleagues is that they let themselves get overwhelmed by paperwork. You can't even get to them without fighting your way through a paper jungle.
In your file, it says you are intelligent, loyal, conscientious and hard-working. But hardly anything ever seems to get done.
Hang on. You've been reading my annual appraisals, haven't you?
Yes. Now, why do you think it says that?
Don't know.
Any clues? Sort of lying around the office?
Paper! What do you mean?
You are shackled by a great chain of paper.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You couldn't find Harry's monthly returns, the maintenance invoice. You made Peter leave his papers instead of just giving him a verbal answer.
No,
you wanted a copy of his report instead of just talking to him about the presentation.
You have got it all wrong.
Waste time looking for things. You have to make all your phone calls twice, and you get distracted.
No, I don't.
By out-of-date exhibition brochures. You have to work on the floor because there's no room on your desk.
Please.
You're a paper slave, aren't you?
No, I am not. I'm sorry, but this is my office. This is the way I want it. It suits me. It stimulates my imagination. It inflames my creative psyche.
What is this?
It's a graph.
I know that. What kind of graph is that?
Well, it shows actuals against budgets, doesn't it?
Creative psyche. This is trainees' work.
I know that. I'm doing it as a favour for Mr. Hardcastle. He's very appreciative.
Are you sure it isn't just a hobby? Paper slaves do things to escape because they are scared. They are scared of all those letters, those faxes, those memos, those reports. They keep coming and coming and coming. Contracts, invoices, completion certificates. They pin you down. You can't move, you can't breathe, and you suffocate. Delia Dalton, what are you?
Sacked.
The office world is complicated and competitive. It takes real drive and ambition to keep one step ahead of the rest.
I know it's silly working myself up into a state like this over a woman. That's quite natural. Well, I hope so. I mean, we never had this sort of trouble to start with. I mean, we used to go on, well, you know, I mean, marvellously. I mean, She gave me that blotter. If anything wasn't quite right, we used to sit down like sensible, mature adults and sort everything out.
I remember.
Well, now every time I try and see her, there's some excuse. I mean, if she doesn't want to see me, why doesn't she come straight out with it? I really can't stick it much longer.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, I'm up to there with it. I mean, it's affecting my work.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, I'm seeing her tomorrow, and I'm going to have it out with her.
You tell her.
I shall. I shall say to her, we've been talking about it for nearly 6 months now. I just want a straight answer. Do I get it or not? I mean, I reckon I'm entitled to it by now.
Absolutely.
It's not just the prestige. I mean, I really need it.
Brooks had his.
What?
Brooks had his.
I don't believe it. Who told you?
He did.
Rook! Well, if he's had his, it's definitely my turn. Rook! I shall tell her. I shall say if she doesn't let me have it, I shall have to go elsewhere.
Over her head.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not asking for the earth. It's only a ruddy fitted carpet.